What's up, my friends? Good morning. Depending on where you are, it's 11:14 a.m. here. I'm in the central time zone. Now I'm giving you all of the locations, but I just wanted to say good morning, happy rising. And my intention for this video is to speak to you in a way that something is awakened within you, that some of this information, these words reach you in a way that just opens your heart to a new way of seeing, a new way of being. And I'm going to give you some tough love. And when I say tough love, it's love, but it's coming from truth. And here's one thing I know for sure. I know what it takes for someone to go through a massive radical transformation because I've lived it. That's been my path. So I would never tell you to do something, to try something, to walk something that I have not done myself. I don't believe in that. I believe that I'm not going to tell anyone to do something that I wouldn't do myself. So know that everything I'm about to say is something that I've done with my own journey. This video is inspired by a conversation that showed up in my DMs this morning because it's not a uncommon question. It's not an uncommon conversation. And it's important because I know that the people that are watching my videos, listening to my podcast, reading my book are people that are like, I'm ready for more. I'm ready to be free. I'm ready to end my suffering. I'm ready to stop believing these things about myself. I'm willing to stop listening to this story. I'm willing to change my life. And if that is you, then let me know. So if you're on here for this live or the replay, let me know and say hello in the comments. One other thing I want to remind you before we get started is next weekend we're doing the virtual meditation retreat. It's life-changing. It's a one-time opportunity. So get in if you can and if it speaks to you. So there's a conversation that came into my DMs today, and it's a woman that I know from different events and things like that. And she's amazing. She's a great woman. She's has wonderful intentions. She asked me something along the lines of, I've been listening to all your podcasts. I love it. I'm ready to get out of my own way, in some other words. How much do you charge for a call? So I told her, I don't do calls. I don't do just like one-off calls. I don't even really do private coaching right now. I'm doing some business intensives to help people shapeshift their business right now. But I was like, when I do, I never do one call, and here's why. One call is not a commitment to transformation. One call is just something I don't do. But here's the other thing. So after I told her that, I said, I don't do one call. But what I do is I have a meditation retreat coming up, and that's going to be some really deep work. And it's just a little tiny fraction of the investment of what I charge for private coaching and for my other programs that are thousands of dollars. So this is what she said. She goes, maybe I will see what's going on after I pay my bills. So here's what I told her, and here's what I want to tell you. And this is for anyone, whether you're on the fence of joining the meditation retreat, whether you're on the fence of joining a big program this year, or you're on the fence about doing something that you know just lights up your soul and that will open a door to a new reality for you. I told her, I said, it's really simple. You are either in and ready to do the things, or you're out. When we start putting it on, I have to see what's up with my bills. I have to see what my husband says. I have to see what my calendar says. We have to just start digging into that a little bit. And I don't say this because this is not to shame you. This is not to guilt trip you. This is just for you and you. You don't even have to ever tell me about how this conversation impacts you. Just grab a journal. Grab a journal. You see my journal? I write in it all the time. Grab your pen and start asking some questions, okay? And the kind of question you really want to ask yourself is, how long am I willing to stay in my own suffering? How long? If we know that the way that we're currently operating through life, the things that we believe, the things that we see, the things that we're feeling are suffocating us, making us stress, making us feel limited. We feel like we can't quite see to the thing that we need to see, or we can't quite reach it or touch it or feel it or receive it yet. Open up to receive help. Open up to receive help. Now, here's the interesting thing that's like a beautiful thing about life is we do have the answers within. We do have information within, but here's the deal. there's so much wisdom in the silence and the stillness that you avoid, right? Like we want instant gratification. We want someone to give us an answer right now. Some people will hop onto this video and they'll stay on here for 30 seconds and like, okay, swipe into the next, swipe into the next. They're just unconscious of their attention span. They're unconscious of their willingness and their readiness to really get on the other side of the things that are keeping them in bondage. And really, it's our beliefs about what's possible for us and who we are. So the work that I do with people, I mean, there's various ways that I work with people. And this isn't an invitation to private coaching because I'm not doing private coaching right now. This is an invitation to get into next week's meditation retreat. I want you to know that meditation may feel like the most unsexy thing, right? Like it sounds so much more sexy for me to say, let's go to a retreat and we'll do this and we're going to be at the beach and we're going to do all these things. That's sexy. There's something I want you to know about the sexy and then the stillness, right? Now, I mean, ideally we can do the retreat with the meditation, but right now it's COVID, so things are a little bit weird. But there's so much of what you're looking for, the wisdom, the strategy, the answer, the decision you've been floating around, the thing that you're not quite sure if you really feel that yet, or if you're really ready to move, or you're really ready to be in that relationship or out of that relationship, and so on and so on. When we take the time to be still, and when we let go, and when we allow ourselves to be guided inward into these deeper states, to these altered states of being, answers show up. They start showing up. Things are revealed. And we get this beautiful, profound clarity that we wouldn't have had otherwise. I can't talk you into clarity. What I can do is I can give you some information. You can process it, integrate it, and then come to your own conclusion. But the thing I love about meditation and why I'm obsessed with it is because, and why it's in everything that I do. It's in my business coaching. When I business coach someone, we sit down and I'm going to guide them into these hypnotic states. We're going to ask some questions about their business. We're going to ask some questions about their desires. We're going to ask some questions about strategy. And we're going to connect to spirit because spirit is strategic. And I think this is what people forget. You think that another expert, another human is the only way to access a strategy. Like, I need that expert to give me all the strategy because they know everything. Where do you think that their strategies came from? Where do you think that new inventions come from? New ideas, breakthroughs, quantum leaps, they come from a download. It's a download that is coming from this place and it's received. So this is very important because in this day and age, majority of the people, and whenever you're a majority, there's a level of mediocrity, right? And that's not mean, it's just, it is what it is. There's a level of status quo, a very average way of showing up. And what I always invite people to do is just to release your agreement with being average, release your agreement to being mediocre, understand that you're willing to be a minority and choosing to live a miraculous life. Now, the only way that we can do this is by deciding that we deserve it and we have this level of readiness and willingness that, like, I don't care about, this outside circumstance. I'm not going to let this roadblock that popped up get in my way. I'm ready and I'm willing and I want to meet the woman or the man or the being on the other side of this, yes. And I'm willing to ride the wave of uncomfortability, the feelings of, maybe your money is tight for a little bit because you just made an investment. Maybe you are feeling insecure and all of your wounding around not being worthy or enough is coming up because you just made a really big move and it's challenging the identity that you think, who you think you are. These are all the things that we have to be willing to weather the storm in our own radical transformation. Some people are just like, I want the new life. I want to feel confident. I want to have the bank account like this. I want the clients to come to me. You have to be that magnet for those things. And when I say magnet, this isn't some airy-fairy law of attraction stuff. This is the truth. You have an electromagnetic field that can be measured. When your heart's open, you are magnetic. When your heart's open, you start opening your mind, opening your eyes, opening your heart. You're open to new possibilities. When you have a closed heart, and you're just like, nothing's working. I don't have money. Things are tight. I'm limited in this way. I'm limited in that way. You are shrinking that field. This is science. It's all measurable. What I'm asking you is to let go of the need to actually measure it and start paying attention to how you feel. And I remember Marie Claire, who is my great friend, and she's so amazing, but I love something that she said when she was at Harmonious Hustle. This has stayed with me because I'm like, I love this line. I'm going to use this line. She said, do you feel like when you experience that something is a yes for you, and then you feel like I can't afford it, do you feel like that is truly of spirit? And she was like, nobody died from buying the $200 shoes. And then we went on and talk about like the women that were going into Money Miracles at the time. I want you to just apply this to yourself here, because here's what I know. There's going to be a lot of women that watch this. There's going to be men that watch this. I mean, anyone can come to next weekend's meditation retreat. If you are someone that is ready to meet the next level, the next texture of what it feels like to be you, then you've got to get to that retreat. You've got to get there. All you have to do is show up for it. Now, the thing is, you may have the stories around money being tight or money being like this, or it's the holidays. Is that the agreement that you want to buy into as a case closed? Or do you want to decide to do something different? I want to tell you all something. I'm going to use a personal story of what just happened with me with some money stuff. Obviously, I shared that I had $100 and some $1,000 a month. I had all these things that happened. I hired my CFO, so she's handling my money. All these things are happening. I made some big investments. I made some, I've been traveling. I put money in savings. I was like, I'm not touching this money. I'm not touching it. And what happened is my friend showed me these beautiful crystal bowls. And I was like, I want one. When I called him up, he was like, you don't just buy one. He's not someone that would just try to sell me on something. He's like, you buy one, it's just going to be like one sound. But if you buy 3, it's going to be a whole harmony. Like you start to really make music. So I was like, all right, well, how much is 3? I was thinking it was going to be like $900. I was thinking these bowls are like $300 a piece, like whatever. Okay, $1,000. He was like, okay, well, this one's $1,300. This one's $1,200. I was like, this is like $4,000 on some random crystal bowls. And I felt it being like a tightness where I was like, this is not in my budget. This is not in what I wanted to do. Like, I'm not doing this. So then that happened and I started feeling into it, and I was like, I don't want this to be a random purchase, right? Like, that feeling when something just feels good for a second and you're like, I'm just going to make a random purchase. Then later you're like, I don't even use this. So I sat with it and he sent me this little video of the bowls and I listened to it and I felt it in my heart that even though this thing was like thousands of dollars, I didn't plan on spending, it wasn't in my budget. I'm like, I have taxes that I have to pay. There's all these things and I'm not selling any like major programs right now. So it was unexpected. I could feel it in my heart that this was a yes. I was like, these damn bowls are like working their way into my heart. They're singing to me. Literally, I need these bowls. So I told him, I was like, fuck it, just sign me up. Like, I'm getting 3. My point of this was, and here's what's cool. Little things happened. Like, because I decided I'm going to sign up for it, I know that there's going to be some unexpected money. There's going to be things that come through to make up for this because it was unexpected. Guess what happened? I had a client that reached out and said, I just want to pay off my whole program in full early. So I was like, nice. She just basically paid for a bowl and then some. I had this place that I just moved from that had the cell tower. They reached out to me and they were like, we owe you a refund. I was like, I thought that you guys weren't refunding me. Like, there were all these little things that happened. And then the same thing with yesterday. I woke up yesterday morning. I'm sharing this with you all because it's evidence and this is just how I live my life. I woke up yesterday and I had an inspiration to help 10 moms. I was like, I just want to help 10 moms. Like, I don't care about whatever. Like, it's just on my heart. We'll figure it out. Like, we'll work it out. So I decided to do that. And then as I did, I started getting inspired to do all these things. And I was like, how freaking cool. And then one of my clients reached out and she's like, I want to do the private business intensive. Boom, paid in full, thousands of dollars. So it's like all of this stuff happens because I was open to not just receiving money. I want to get. I'm circulating. I'm like, all right, I like this. This feels good. I'm going to circulate my money over here. I think this is going to help my clients. I'm going to circulate my money over here. My point of this is for the people that are on the fence and being like this with their money all the time. And then blaming your bills for things, blaming your bank account for things. Look in the mirror and start having an honest conversation with yourself. This is all I'm asking you to do. Like I said, grab the journal. Have an honest conversation with myself. How willing am I to get out of my way? How willing? And for those of you that have something to sell, it's really up to you. Like, it's like, I get it. Like, I really get it for like how I'm giving to these single moms. Somebody reached out to me yesterday on a DM trying to tell me like who I should be giving to and not giving to. Number one, let's be clear. I give to who I want, when I want, the amounts I want, as I feel called. It's mine. That's what I get to do. But I give to moms that are not in the consciousness just yet of they don't have a business idea. They have no idea of how to get from point A to point C. They don't have a product to sell. They're just like me 6 years ago. I didn't have any of these things and I felt lost and hopeless, and it kept just getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And, there's a shift in consciousness that has to happen, that we start seeing life differently. And I get that. But I'm a little bit more clear and tough with women that have stuff to sell, because I'm like, you have gifts. You have things. Get out there and go do them. Get out there and don't shut up about them. And not only that, it's not just about pushing things down people's throats and just saying, I have this thing, buy it, buy it, buy it. It's about minding your energy. And you have to understand that people are not buying from you because of this beautifully packaged thing necessarily. There's people that are going to buy from you because they love your energy, and there's something about your energy that they know when they're in it, they feel changed by it. And I want you to understand this, because this is one of the reasons why I have these virtual meditation retreats, but this is the reason why I have containers, groups. In a group of people, we are all rising and pulling each other up. When you sit down to meditate, for instance, on your own, you may feel like, I can't sit still. I feel like my thoughts are doing all these things. I'm having, this stress. My body wants to just keep fidgeting. What happens is when you sit down in a group to meditate, you will drop in quicker. Has anyone experienced that? Any of my people on here? Some of you I know have meditated with me before. Some of you have been in my groups. When we're together and we drop in, it's like, it pulls you up. It pulls you into the field quicker. So the other thing is, if you're around anyone that's doing a lot of work, right? If someone is doing a ton of work, like I know my friend would say this. He went to a Sadhguru. It's like, it's this Indian guy. He's like a master teacher, whatever. When you're in his presence, like people were just saying how they just felt tears. They felt moved. They just felt his energy. And I remember like Michael Beckwith teaching this at meditation retreats a way long time ago. And he would say that when you go into the room and there's someone there that's doing the work and they're doing it deeply, it impacts all of us. And now I feel that. So my point of this is, get in and do the work, or just drop the idea. Don't let the excuses be something that you actually entertain. And I just want this to land for you. When we buy into the excuse, we don't take the responsibility. And if we don't take the responsibility, we can never get beyond it. So the way that we can do this is being really clear of, I have a desire for this, whether it's a result, a transformation, an experience, a dollar amount. I have the desire for this. Own it. Get clear on it. And then I want you to be clear on the kinds of excuses that you entertain and engage with and use in your life. And then just get really clear on, how can you take responsibility for that? And I know this isn't fun. It's not fun, but I'll tell you what, it will change your life if you start living this way. Because it's just like if you want to work out because you want to get more healthy, you want to eat healthier, you want to have more money, you just got to do it. You just start moving your body. You just start eating differently. If you want to save money, saving money was one of my huge ones, guys. Like, I love spending money. And anytime I got an email with an opportunity, anytime somebody hit me up with like, hey, there's this opportunity, you want to go on this trip? Hey, there's this program, it will change your life, change your business. I was like, yes. I always found ways to circulate my money. And this past year, I decided like, it's time for me to make my money work for me and grow for me. I had to really change the way that I think, and I had to change, and I'd get out of my way with this excuse that there's always something's always needed. I always have to do this. It was like I was putting the power over there. When we have no time to entertain these bullshit excuses, we just get really tough with ourselves with love. And I want you to know that love also feels like a boundary. Love also feels like I'm unavailable for my own bullshit right now. Love also feels like this. I am here to give myself the life that I deserve. He's not going to give it to me. She's not going to give it to me. My clients don't give it to me. It's you. It's me. So get honest. This is my prayer for you today. This is why I'm making this. I'm about to hop on a call with my friend and have a catch up with her. I haven't seen her since we were in India, but I wanted to hop on with you really quickly because I just know this. And because I got this DM this morning, I know that there's so many of you that see this thing that's coming up next week. It's $397 for the whole weekend. It's going to change your life if you do it, but I know that there's people that are like, I don't know if I can afford it. The other thing is, you can pay it in payments of $111, which is like, anybody can come up with that. Anyone can come up with that. And the other thing is, if you have a desire in your heart to become more liberated, to ground your energy, to be in a group, be in a container, to do this work, to deepen in your practices and also expand into your potential, but you think that you can't do $111 a month, I just want to ask you, how long do you want to stay in that agreement? How long do you want to stay in that agreement? Or do you want to start asking a new question, inviting in a new result, and start doing things a little differently? That's something only you can decide for yourself. Natalie says, mine was fixing my teeth. I didn't complete them. I need to stop making excuses to finish this. Yes, and Natalie, you have things to sell. So it's all you and you, babe. So you get to decide. The thing is, when any of us have something to sell, I mean, we all have stuff to sell. We could all sit down, especially like us that are entrepreneurial. We could sit down with any human and think of something to sell. You can look around your house and find something to sell, but we have gifts, services, and we are all valuable. None of us are made on accident. We're all here with this one of oneness. That means that we are here and we're able to serve and support one another. Now, in terms of us owning this and not shutting up about it, that's something totally different. But it's so important because I just want you to understand, and I made this agreement with myself a long time ago when I wanted to write my memoir, because it was hard. It was hard. I'm not going to like sugarcoat it. Like there's people that are like, I'm unavailable for the hard. I am unavailable for hard, but there's some things that are hard because they're just a challenge. And writing my memoir was one of the hardest things I've ever done. It was just emotionally brutal. It was long. It just took fucking forever. When I was doing it, I had to be really clear that I was keeping my eye on what the outcome was that was really important to me. And now when I get these emails that feel kind of random, because I'm like, I don't even know, I never met her. I never knew she was in my community. And there's a woman reading my book and sharing how it helped her or how it spoke to her or reminded her of her truth. I can't help but be so grateful that I did that for myself. And I did it for them. So for anybody that's listening to this, I want you to know that everything, hi Lindsay, hi Candace, anything that you say yes to right now, even if you have to weather a little bit of a storm or discomfort in the unfamiliar, in that little yes moment, know that there's a reason why you're called to it. There's a reason why you feel pulled. There's a reason why you are feeling that invitation from within. And the more that you deny it, the more you keep yourself stuck in the same agreement. And as soon as we change our agreements with life and with ourselves, and we demand different, we expect different, we expect something new, the new comes. But like I just said earlier, when I had my agreements, I had my own agreements of like what my November was going to look like, what my December was going to look like, because I had payments coming through. I was taking some time off. I was doing all these things. But then I had all of these things that were coming up and calling my heart. And I was unavailable to dip into my savings for them. So I had to just open up. But again, I was like, all right, I'm willing to change my agreement. I'm willing to change my agreement. I have new information now. There's a new call in my heart. I'm excited about this thing. I should say yes to it. I'm ready to open up for this. So my friends, my ladies and gentlemen, I see you, Bruce, on here as well. I want to invite you to have a really beautiful experience with me next weekend. I am creating this, this container. It's 3 days. There's 2 hours on Friday. There's total of 3 hours broken into two 90-minute segments on Saturday and Sunday. And we're going to meet and circle up in this group, and we're going to get together and we're going to do some deep work. And mostly we're going to be in a space of signaling. We're going to send out signals. We're going to strengthen this field that we create with our body, and we're going to signal out the truth about what we desire, what we want to experience. We're going to activate these emotions from this limitless well of goodness that's within us. We're going to activate them all weekend long. You're not going to enter into this weekend and be the same person on the other side. So it's like there's a door you can come on through. The door is open, but you have to decide that it's time for you, and you've got to be willing to make an investment. So, Natalie says, let's just see. Oh, so I just want to speak on this. I just scan through it. Is like, I think that what everyone needs to remember is like, this can sound cute coming from me now because my life seems pretty easy, and in a way, some ways it is, but in a lot of ways it's not. And I just want to remind you all, like, you know, what's different for all of us. And Natalie, this is what I would invite you to explore is tapping into your infinite resourcefulness. One thing I believe is that I'm resilient even when I don't feel like it in the hard times, right? You know, we can always find a reason why an external circumstance brings us down. We can always find one. And we can say, I am greater than that. I'm greater than that. I'm willing to be greater than that. God, move through me, Spirit, speak to me. How can I be greater than that? And when we're in that space, anything's possible. Because what I know is that I have been handed many cards that have not been easy, have been fucking hard. And I remember when my mom died in 2018 in the middle of a launch, and, you know, my dad wouldn't fly out. No one, like, I wasn't getting any help with anything. I had to pay for everything. I was just like devastated myself. I was shocked. And I had to like just tap into this stuff. So I get it. Things are not always easy. But what I do know, and this is my level of faith, and this is just how I operate, is that I believe that at the end of the day, we have this infinite intelligence that is on our side. And we could choose to focus on the infinite intelligence more than we focus on an external circumstance. This is a decision that each of us has with our free will. And what I know is that when we're in a victim consciousness, meaning that I'm weak, the world is more powerful, I'm weak, this is more scary, I don't have it, the world has more. When we're in that level of consciousness, this kind of conversation I'm having can piss us off because I've been the person pissed off. But I give it to you as medicine because what I know is that it's truth. And I see people, and I love stories of just like human resilience because it inspires me. And I carry it with me in the times where things get hard and the times where I forget the truth. And I think this is why we all have to share our evidence, because there's going to be days where you're riding high, right? Because life is ebbs and flows. And there's going to be days where shit is really hard and things get low. Who has had a low time in the past year? Me, right? Like, this has been an exceptionally hard year. But guess what? This is the thing. Like, what do you believe about the hard times? So for me, I've adopted a belief that I use as my own medicine, that when things are hard, I have to up my faith. When things are tough, I can't forget what's true. And because I'm in that space, I have to look for the evidence out externally, right? So there's times where you can look within and it's there. And it's like, of course, I feel so connected to life. I feel so like everything is fine. Everything is amazing. And then there's days where I'm like, gag me with a spoon. I can't. I don't feel like in resonance with this. When I feel like that, I know that I'm out of alignment. So I got to dig deeper. I got to do the work. I'm not going to call someone that is going to resonate with me and keep me in that field. I'm going to do the work to consciously get out of it. So that's my invitation for anyone. I just know without a doubt that all of us are connected to all things and that we have this power to influence. You know what? I want to share this little experiment that came up at Dr. Joe's retreat because I think that it would just be so powerful in this time. Who's here with me? Because I would love to just see whose energy is here in this last moment. So check this. I want to talk about the power and influence scientifically, right? This is not just some law of attraction, philosophy. This is a scientific experiment they did with baby chicks. All right. So they programmed a robot and they put it in this arena. And they programmed the robot that every turn it goes left, and then the next turn it goes right. It goes left and it goes right. All right. Thank you, ladies, for saying hello. I love to see who. I feel like we're in a circle, right? All right. So listen, the chick robot went left and then right, left and then right, left and then right. So feel me, it was programmed that way. So it's a robot. It's going to do that. Then they took the same arena and they put a whole gang of baby chicks, a bunch of them, and they put them only on the right side of the cage. These baby chicks imprinted on the robot. There was a fence, there was a barrier, but they could see the robot. They imprinted that was their mother, and there was a great intention of, I need you, love, come to me, we need you. So imagine there's all these baby chicks on the right of the arena, and they're just signaling out this thing. They're like, love, 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 right? Imprinting on the robot. Now it's a robot. It's been programmed to go left and right, left and right, left and right. So it's going all over the arena. After the baby chicks were there and the baby chicks were sending this signal, they actually changed the way that the robot moved. The robot went from moving all around the arena, and they showed the trail of like everywhere it went, to the robot only stayed on, it ended up only moving to the right side. So then its trail went only around the right side of the arena where the baby chicks were. These baby chicks, unintentionally, because of the signal, we are transmitters. We are all putting out signals at all times. These baby chicks with their signals changed the way that robot was programmed. So you hear about this, right? You hear about this in quantum physics where we all, through the observer, we all change our environment, right? You hear of this? So this was a scientific experiment where these chicks did this to a robot. Now, this is what I want to just impart to you here. Those chicks can do that to a robot. They're baby chicks. They just, decided. And it was just a natural reaction. You can send these signals out to the infinite, out to this world, to this planet, to your clients, to your people, to your love, to your friends. You can send the signals out, and it's going to influence them. Just like that robot that was programmed, you will influence the things. This is why it is so important for you to be doing the work to understand what you're signaling and to intentionally signal, right? I see people putting this thing out like, I manifest in the new moon. That's cute, but here's what I want you to know. You're manifesting at all times. You're manifesting. You're a co-creative being that is manifesting at all times. So to give away your power and say, I only manifest at the new moon, I only manifest this day, no, you manifest at all times. Whether you're intentional about it, that's the thing. So, hi Donnie, hi Gretchen. So I want to just invite you to think about those chicks and their power and what they did to a programmed robot. And I want you to know that you have that power to influence the things out in your world today. And most importantly, you need to get clear with you and you. Have a mirror time, have a journal time, and start asking the questions I talked about early on in this. And if you're really ready to clear the energy and to activate a strong signal, a clear, profound signal to what you want to experience, what you want to create, what you are activating from within at this end of the year, then join me for this meditation retreat. One more thing I want to say about it, because I got a DM on my Instagram last night. One of the women that's in Miracle Academy, she was like, I want to be a part of this, but I have my son on Friday. What are the times? So look at the times, because this is how I create things, and I put times on sites, and I actually forget the times. I operate off of like my calendar. So all I know is there's 2 hours on Friday. It's all recorded. And then there's 90 minutes in the morning, 90 minutes in the afternoon on Saturday and Sunday. There's a break in between. Even if you can't do all live, I know some of the miracle worker ladies that signed up, they can't do all live. They have like family traditions, a holiday weekend. But I wanted to do it on this holiday weekend. There's a lot of people that are going to be unconscious this holiday weekend. Black Friday, people go crazy and act insane. But there's also a level of there's going to be some people that are sad. It's a holiday weekend, but it's COVID. There's people that don't have the access to their family like they want to have. There's people that are staying in solitude, and there's people that are not doing well because of it. We can raise the vibration, and we can really amplify our own good and also help the people in our lives, right? So I gotta go, but I'm sending you all so much love. Thanks for joining me this morning. And do you all wear white in the winter? Because I totally do. I was looking at this and I was like, I'm gonna put on these white pants. And I always think of like from being from like Philadelphia suburbs, people in like the Northeast will always be like, no white after winter. But you know, the California in me, I just wear whatever I want when I want to wear it. But anyway, I just thought it was funny. So my friends, I hope to see you next week. Let me know if you're going to join. I will see you there. Any questions about it, feel free to DM me. I'm sending you so much love. Bye.